the harrowing escape to make it out of Burning Man.
It rained quite a bit for the desert and created a very mucky, muddy, terrible environment where you could barely walk. Vehicles made it impassable, and the whole festival, the 70-ish thousand people out here just had to stay put.
The entire place is absolutely just soaked.
What's up, turds and nerds, freaks and geeks, and all that's in between? It's me, your girl, Daisy Dame, and welcome back to my channel. I'm genuinely blessed to have you here. Now, many of you have heard plenty enough about what's going on with Burning Man, but I don't know if you've gotten the actual perspective of someone who's actually been to these festivals, who's gone to these festivals every summer for over a decade, and who really has a good idea of what is more than likely occurring right now. Most of you know well enough by now that I'm an artist. I've been an artist for over 2 decades, practically my entire life. So yes, the festivals are a very important time for artists to actually make the bulk of their money. It is the main art selling season, if you will. Also, let us consider they just happen to be in Black Rock, right? The Black Rock Desert. How curious. Why does that matter? Why is it important? Because Black Rock is the grubby company that seems to keep showing up time and time again after these great big tragedies, whether it be in Maui or whether it be in Ohio. It doesn't matter. They don't care, clearly. So this article goes on to tell us that there was this freak flooding, that it was terrible, that it turned out that now Burning Man was in a state of emergency, that somebody had gotten sick, that it could be as bad. Although at this time it is stating that the Ebola claims are something that's already been debunked. And here comes the important part. What does exactly BlackRock do? Well, it's one of the world's leading providers of investment advisory and risk management solutions. Isn't that curious? I only say it's curious because it seems like even if they have these emergency plans in place, none of these people are using them. None of these people follow through. Consider that for a moment. Somebody has that job where they're meant to make emergency plans, emergency exits, set up a plan in general, but it's like as if that person has just been on holiday for the last decade. I don't know what happened or why, but that's a part of it, y'all. And another thing that I found very curious is that they're saying very, very quickly that it was turning into the Lord of the Flies. And for those of you who don't know what that means, it means it went no bueno real quick.
After 2 days of heavy rainfall left more than 70,000 trapped in thick mud in the middle of the remote Nevada desert.
It's a novel about children who get stranded on an island. They start to make clicks, and they pick another off one by one, essentially.
Driving a vehicle right now is impossible. There is absolutely no way you can move a vehicle through this right now.
The local sheriff's office now probing the death of one person during the rain event. The cause still under investigation. But
at the time of recording this, there has still only been one passing away since all of this has began. But were the signs there
But the
already?
festival says the death was not storm-related.
I think I could be trapped here for a couple more days.
The unprecedented downpour started Friday. Festival organizers telling burners to shelter in place and to conserve food, water, and fuel while closing roads both in and out of the playa.
Truth is, experienced campers might not have as hard of a time as you may think.
Yeah.
Did you all know that this was likely going to happen?
We get a daily weather report. There was no cause for panic.
Burning Man CEO Marianne Goodell telling me the self-reliant community of burners came well prepared for desert extremes.
But did they come well prepared for these types of extremes? No.
We've made it really clear that we do not see this as an evacuation situation and that the community is patient and the water is drying up. The sludge not stopping some
from making the treacherous journey by foot.
We took everything we needed to survive on our back.
Desperate to make it back to their children at home, Bear Kate and his wife walked 6 miles to the nearest open road.
They claim that they're not holding people, but people who were there said they were locking the gates, no one in, no one out. This was meant to preserve life, so they say.
There were actually rivers that were flooding through the playa where we had to test and see how deep they were. My wife was carried across the river by a very strong man who carried her on her back. Some celebrities literally following in their footsteps.
The truth is, nobody cares as much about Diplo, but Chris Rock was one of the famous people that did manage to get their way out of Burning Man.
We walked 3 miles now. I think 5 more.
DJ Diplo and comedian Chris Rock also trudging through the mud for miles before being rescued by Good Samaritans.
Back at camp, trapped burners coming together and holding on to hope that the weather finally clears in time for the annual Burn the Man finale, proving nothing can extinguish the spirit of this decades-long movement.
The Burning Man organization advises participants to delay their departures in order to avoid getting stuck, but people are free to leave whenever they want.
Makes you question what you would do if you were in that situation.
They get that resolved. Thank you, Chloe.
The craziest thing is, like, here's how backwards the world is right now. They called it a state of emergency, that they were obviously dealing with some situations, but FEMA is saying that they did not go in. So it just goes on to explain what exactly Burning Man is, how they light that Burning Man up every year. And this year they're saying there was a mysterious viral disease that contained boils, vomiting, etc. Turns out that that's not true. Many were saying that FEMA was sent out. They're saying this isn't true either. But there has been a text via the CDC that seems to be tweeted and deleted, which is very important that we look at. So it says, FEMA is not at Burning Man Festival ground. It says over 70,000 people were stuck at Burning Man, but FEMA was not there. And they're also stating how there's no Ebola outbreak. And even the CEO, as we heard, stated there is no cause for concern. They go on to say that there's really no need for the fuss, that most people are well equipped for an event like that. And although that may be true, most people were not equipped for the flooding, right? Most people are equipped for cold nights and desert-like conditions, not downpours and torrential rains, I suppose. Officials are running around telling people once more to basically stay off the social media and not to check it there. But as I was looking further into this, I did notice that there was something that must have occurred at Burning Man in 2017. So let's just take a peek at what incident occurred at Burning Man in 2017. So it is quite curious because in 2018, they actually did have to block them in as well. And as for 2017, this would be the year that someone had passed due to running into a wall of fire, which is insanely tragic. It is so, so sad. So these people had to wait hours. They had to travel very far by foot. They're being told that they can leave. We're being told that they can leave, but in the end, that's not the truth. They're being advised to stay. Whether they're saying that they can leave or not, that's a whole different story. As for Lord of the Flies, it is a rather vicious novel. Basically, it's every man for themselves and get out while you still can. Very curious indeed. Let me know what you guys think about all this down below. Have you been to these festivals? Have you heard about Burning Man? Were you ever interested in going? Might this change your mind? If you haven't already, please check me out on Whatnot, Dame Bonbon Daisy. There you can see my artwork, my paintings, our tie-dyes, and so much more. And even my own personal goods and clothing. That's right. So if you dig my style, if you find it interesting, now might be your chance to get something very unique. Thank you guys so much for all the help. It really means a lot. Stay awake, stay aware, stay well, and take care of one another. And I'll see you again soon. Bye, guys.